too long ago, this camp would only maybe have like 30 plus players invited. The past 2 years, it's been more than 50, including the injured players. Just how have you seen this event, this camp grow, not just with numbers, but just overall, especially since Kyle and company took over?
Yeah, I think the more players has just the way the organization is trying to grow, bring in more prospects, it's more opportunity. And then the more staff also, the more resources we have available to those players to be able to accommodate them has grown. So it's fun getting to see players that our scouts are recommending and bringing into camp here and then getting to know them, showing them what we can offer as an organization and as a development group. So it's been a lot of fun to get to know some of these players, see them on the ice, work with them, and then they get to know our organization, our staff, and our resources as well.
The other day, Kyle mentioned you guys got an extra 12% on Joona Koppanen's skating. Just how much more resources are they giving to the player development side the last couple of years? And do you think you can keep replicating 12% for other players?
That would be the goal. My staff is amazing. My development staff is fantastic. I feel like the LA Dodgers. I got a lineup of overly qualified people that I can use to send out to visit our prospects, that can use in Wheeling, Wilkes-Barre, and Pittsburgh. So I think the ownership and management has built out a ton of resources available to players that can only help them. And if the players are willing to use that and to help them develop, that's where we're seeing growth with some of the players. So it's been a lot of fun to watch the growth and in the staff and then in resulting in helping the players develop.
Has there been a big uptick in technology or things like that to help the players as well?
I think so. I think our performance department uses technology probably a lot more than I do, but then the video side of it has grown, our video department has grown, what we can offer the players through video, and then giving them quick feedback on their games and their fitness testing results and how to improve in those areas.
What did you see from Ben Kindle this week, especially in terms of his skating?
You see the hockey sense, you see the playmaking ability, and then the skating, I think there's a ton of room for growth and improvement. So he's a very young kid, excited that he's here, really have enjoyed meeting him, working with him, getting to know him, and he's been really inquisitive, asking questions, wanting to learn. I think being in here in this environment has been a bit eye-opening for him, just to see all the players and how hard everyone works. So it's been a really good trip for him, and then exciting to see that there's room for growth and strength in skating, which will only, if you give a smart player more speed and strength, their game's only going to grow. So I think he's a kid that's willing to put in the work, and he knows what he has to do. So it's been fun to have him here.
Can we ask you the same question for the other two first-rounders, Horkoff and Zanen? I know you haven't spent a ton of time with them, obviously, but what you maybe saw from them these last few days?
Yeah, I thought Horkoff and Zanen both had really good 4-on-4 tournaments out here. There's games and sequences where they really stood out. I think Zanen wanted the puck. He was available for the puck. He made plays happen. He was transporting it up the ice on a few occasions. I know he got one goal, maybe a couple there. It was nice to see. And then Horkoff, his size, and I thought his skating looked good. He scored a couple really powerful goals there. One where he took the puck to the back post and tucked it in, beating the D. And the other, a little change of speeds, shaking off the defender in front of him for a big goal for his team. So it was nice to see them throughout the camp in different situations and then watch them in the game situation. I think they both had great attitudes and willing to learn and open to anything we're suggesting to them.
Well, Cruz Lucius had a goal, and I think a shootout goal too. Spez kind of touched on his overall situation, like missing time. For someone who's worked with him, just what kind of potential do you see from him, maybe the kind of player that he is?
His skill set is really, he's got a high-end skill set. I think his shot, his puck skills are elite. I thought the one play that I was most impressed with in the games is on Horkoff's goal. He set it up by tracking back and forcing the turnover, and then he scored the nice goal after that. So it was good to see him get rewarded offensively. I think he knows this is a huge year for him. He has to prove what kind of player he can become, and he's been working hard throughout the summer, and I know he's going to push himself, so this will be a big season for him. I know his coach is expecting a lot from him at ASU, so it'll be a good season for him.
Ryan Miller maybe wasn't the biggest name coming into Dev Camp, but especially today, it felt like he really kind of made an impact for Team Stevens. What did you see from him over the course of this week and even today?
I agree. He made an impact out there. Almost every shift he was on the ice, he was involved, and on the puck, you see like when players keep getting the puck, you can tell they're into the game. So he was all over it. It was nice to see his compete level, and I think there's a lot to work with. I think there's intelligence and puck skills, and he's not scared to get to the inside of the ice. So it was fun watching him and good to see.
You talked at length about Harrison Brunick the other day and just some of the growth you saw from him at the AHL level. Obviously, he's not AHL eligible next year. Does that rule kind of present any challenges on the developmental side of things sometimes, especially if a player might be ready to make that jump?
I think so. I think it's a good question. I think it's something that the league should look at because he's probably played his way out of junior hockey. He might be ready for a step up. I'm not in charge of those rules, but you're probably right.
Hakkarainen, just an undrafted agent, but he scored a couple of goals here. What do you know about him as a player, and what did he show in this week?
I know our scouts really liked him throughout the season, and then in the playoffs, he even stepped it up with his team winning the national championship with Joona Väisänen. I think his compete level, his skating, his ability to force defenders into bad plays and force turnovers, and then being able to turn those into offensive chances really stood out. It was nice to see him in the 4-on-4 situation and just hounding pucks. I think to me, he looks like a puck hounder, someone that defensemen would not like to play against. So it was great to have him here and get to know him.
We asked you about Mikhail Ilyin as he was working through his travel issues the other day. Now that he's been on the ice here for a few days, just any impressions of him initially?
He was in a tough spot. The travel was really tough. Credit to our travel staff, team services people that got him here. They did an amazing job, but he was stuck mid-travel in a few places and finally got in. It was great to get to know him, and I think it was really good for him to be around the other players, and the players were great with him. So you can see he makes some really heady plays out there, just like a couple plays where he didn't touch the puck and left it for someone, and some really nice passes. The skating is the biggest area that needs to come. I think he can get stronger and really work on that skating. He has habits of slowing plays down because he's so intelligent, and we want him to play a bit faster.
Was there any one player or a couple that opened your eyes this week that you didn't expect to see a performance or skating as well as they did?
I thought Aaron Huglin stood out. He's a guy I would say I didn't know a ton about coming into this. And our scouts liked him. I've only seen him on video and chatted with him a few times, but I thought he made a good impression and played really well. Joona Väisänen, I think we all know and expected a lot, and he didn't disappoint. I thought he looked really well out there and captained his team to the win, so it was good.
Thanks, DK.